All right. All right, here we go. Wednesday. I got that really nice broken light going on in here. Where's that shadow? There it is, right there. I've got a whiteboard covering most of the window in the summer, and then in the winter I move it so I get the sun in here. But at around sunrise, it comes just right through that little sliver window that's open, and then it gets up above it. So a few minutes that'll be gone. So we'll just kind of work with it. So I've been experimenting with OBS now for probably a couple of months, I guess, and having some fun with it. It lets you do kind of cool transitions and stuff like that. Like we can just do a fade to black or a fade to the title screen. So then I made up this daily rant show idea. I was all excited about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a daily show and I'll put it up on YouTube, right? And I was just kind of playing with it for a while, and it took me about a week to realize I didn't have anything to say most mornings. So I'm like, maybe a daily show isn't in my future. But anyway, so this is your first look at how this could be. I probably would have to fix all of this background. It's all real life kind of stuff back there. Oh, if you can see the calendars. And I'm getting confused with my left and my right. Okay, so these are calendars from Pinups for Vets, for veterans. I think that's the official name. So what they're doing is that all of the ladies in the calendars are veterans themselves. They all served. So they get them all dolled up like, the pinup girls from the 40s and 50s kind of thing. It's kind of a fun program they're doing. Anyway, they take the proceeds from the calendar sales and donations, and they go visit veterans in the hospitals and bring them calendars. And they got a bunch of different cool stuff like playing cards and stuff like that, and posters and all the fun stuff. So anyway, so if you see that in the background, that's what that is. So what's so exciting that I decided I had something to say after all, right? Yeah. Okay. So last night had a pretty good rainstorm. Hail. I'll show you a clip of that in a second here. And wind. Okay. So I look out this morning, look around a little bit. I can see, like it's never a great feeling when you look out and you see water running around your house, right? And sometimes I'd run out with the camera, but last night it was almost, I was getting close to going to bed already, and I didn't want to get wet. So I'm like, I'll just shoot a little bit out the door. And then, I could see the hail. And there was a thunderstorm for quite a while. So usually with thunderstorm, you get pretty intense wind once in a while out here. So I look out this morning, and I see one of my workbenches is flipped completely over, not like what happened when the cows came through. And I'm like, oh, great, more cows, Didn't see any cow prints, so. It's unusual for the wind to blow over a workbench, though. I mean, they're not super heavy. It's 2x4s with a quarter sheet OSB, so it's 2 feet by 4 feet, and, 2x4 legs on it. So they're kind of heavy. I mean, I can pick them up and move them, but they don't usually blow over. So this thing was completely flipped over. So feet sticking up. And I'm like looking, and like something's just not right. And I realize my windbreak, half of it was missing. Like a full 4x8 sheet of OSB was gone. I've got 8 feet of OSB missing. That windbreak has stood up to everything, and it's like the wood is just gone. There's screws, so it's just ripped off. And I'm like, wait. I literally just kind of stopped in mid-step, and I looked at it, and I'm like, did somebody steal my windbreak? I mean, that was my first thought, is because that's been up there for 5 years, I think. I think I put that up the first year I was out here. It's been up for quite a while, because there was times where it was really windy and I needed to do something outside. So I'd bring my workbench over behind the windbreak and I could work. And it's just kind of annoying after a while. You know, things are constantly blowing away. You put something down and it blows away, you know, a rag or something like that. Anyway, so I'm looking at it and the screws were still there. So it didn't just, you know, it wasn't like somebody took the screws out. The screws are there. It ripped it right off. And this is, let's see, it's 8 feet wide. So I think I did a stud on each end and then a third stud in the middle. And I counted there was 3 screws on each stud. So it's not super strong, but it's never gone anywhere before, right? Just gone. And I'm looking around for a while. I find it past the bigger tree 100 feet from here. Like I counted paces. Wow. I forgot. That's the one I made the YouTube sign for. So we're missing a piece. Wow. Okay, how far did it go? There's the house. Yeah, it's almost exactly in a straight line from where I was thinking. So it went over all of these bushes. So it pushed it, ripped the screws out, or ripped through the screws. Wow. That's crazy. So the house is about 30 feet long. 80, 90 feet probably. Close enough. That thing went 100 feet. And then once I saw where it landed, I'm like, okay, so I came back and there's a tree that it hit and it broke branches and it left about a corner of the OSB in the tree. Oh yeah, there's OSB stuck right into the tree. That was moving. Oh, this is fresh damage. And that is definitely a piece of OSB with a screw hole in the corner of it. So it hit here by the corner and it just exploded. And then most of it went over the top of the tree. That's a clean break there. And this tree is half alive. Look out for the thorns. Compared to my hand. And all that broke off. I mean, not just jammed in the tree, but it's kind of wedged between some branches. So you can see where the OSB hit the tree, broke some branches, and then probably flipped up, and then the wind was still carrying it, and it landed way out in the thicket over there, okay? And it's in line with the workbench. And then I also saw, I had a pile of, on the school bus seats, they used to have sheet metal across the back of them. And I haven't had much use for the sheet metal, so I just kind of stacked it up. And that got moved. Like there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 pieces that moved anywhere from 1 foot to 6 feet. So they all kind of got ruffled, and they're all in a line. So what I'm thinking is I got a little twister come through, which kind of makes sense. Nobody here talks about tornadoes, but we get a lot of dust devils come through. So I think it's just a matter of scale, all right? So I don't think we had a tornado, but the little dust devils we get, I've had a few of them that are pretty intense. I've had a couple that I, kind of ducked under the bus or next to the bus or something like that. And, you'll see stuff just go flying sometimes. So I think that's what it was. Yeah. Thankfully it didn't hit the house. It probably would be okay, but still you don't want to have all your shingles go flying. So yeah, that's kind of cool. There was one other time. I'm trying to think if I had built the house yet. I don't think I did, but I might have been starting the house. I had bought some pink styrofoam insulation. And I'd put a couple, like I think I wrapped a tarp around it, and I put a couple rocks on top of it. And I come out the one day, and a few pieces were missing, and I couldn't remember how many pieces there was because I'd used some and I'd bought some, and I couldn't remember how many I had left, right? So it's like they were just gone. I'm like, one was still there under the rock, and the tarp was kind of half, in the fence or something like that. So I had to go up on the school bus for something else. I was doing something on top of the bus, fixing a leak or something like that. And I get up on top of the bus and I look and I could see something pink in the distance, right? Well, let's see, if I look at my map, yeah, the lot that I'm on is a weird one, but the other lot is 600 feet wide by 1,300 feet long. Okay. So I find my styrofoam between here and almost the road, so that could be 1,000 feet at least. At least 1,000 feet, because it was almost to the road. Okay. At an angle. So, yeah, right. So as I was walking, I find a piece, and then I see another piece, and I see another piece. And this was, this was 2-inch thick styrofoam, which, it doesn't weigh anything. So if the wind caught it, it would just go, right? And so I recovered, I think, 3 pieces. And usually, they are broken a little bit, but mostly intact, because, when they get up in the air, and then they'd fall, and they'd probably, almost helicopter back down, right? But it went completely over the barbed wire fence. And, I didn't see any styrofoam until after the fence. So it had just gone, Yeah. It's like we're not in Kansas anymore or something. Kind of crazy. All right, that's the daily ranch rant. Almost daily. Once so far. Thanks. Keep watching. There's more to come. And fade to black. wanted it a little further back. I grabbed it down across this piece here and I ripped this piece out. This will probably never be a truck camper again. So it's lived a good life. Mainly, if I can shade the tank, the algae won't grow as fast. If I get a lot of algae, I got to do a lot of chlorine. If I don't have to do the chlorine, that's better. So I think the tank is pretty flat. Yeah, it's a little bit murky, but not too bad. So, like for my showers, I almost don't need it. It's warm enough now, but it is nice to get in a shower that's not cold. So I leave that bucket. It's just painted flat black spray paint. That gets nice and warm. So that'll be my shower for today, and I usually fill it up from here. So once in a while, I come along and put 35 gallons in here, and then I roll the hose up again. So that gives me enough to last me for, it's about 5 gallons a shower, but I usually don't use it all. So that could be a week's worth of shower plus washing dishes. And then by the time I need, usually by the time I need to refill this, then it's time to do laundry. So then it's worth, you bring the hose out, fill that up, fill 2 buckets up for laundry plus 1 for the shower, then it's worth doing. Then you roll it all up and you're good for another week. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got some useful ideas there. I've not been talking about this very much lately, but my main source of income has been these YouTube videos. The actual money I make from the ads is quite small. What actually keeps me going is a few people that are helping me out over on Patreon or YouTube members. Just a few bucks every month would sure make a huge difference. So if you get anything out of my content, there's a link down below, or I'll put it up on screen. You can help me out through Patreon, which is a monthly subscription. You can also do YouTube members, or you can just throw me a buck on PayPal once in a while. It all helps. Thank you very much. Bye for now.